Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, a wartime general, a wartime president, and now a wartime podcaster, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Love the intro, buddy.
It was so fun in the room because, like, I remembered that was part of the trailer, right? He says,
Yep.
I was a wartime general. And now I'm a wartime president. But, like, when we're in the theater, it's me, my brother, and my girlfriend, Stephanie. And I just go, I was a wartime Cinnabon employee. I was just like throwing every job. I was a wartime construction worker. I was a wartime. And we just kept making up new shit like all the time. It was so fun because especially at that point in the movie, we were all a little like, huh? So yeah. It was, it was so fun to just be like, let's fucking rip this shit up.
Yeah, you had to entertain yourself at certain points of this movie, so I totally understand it.
Especially a movie that literally has the line in it, please don't be boring. And I just wanted to like, bloop, like take that like a claw machine, just fucking take that and just bloop right into my notes. Yep, because I'm like, that's going to make sense later. But good to see you, sir. Today, as you can tell, we are going to do our Captain America Brave New World review, but we're going to do it as part of this larger kind of zoomed out thought of sorts. It's called franchise check-in, the franchise wellness check. How do we kind of put that in there? It was like something to that effect.
Yeah, well, wellness check is apropos.
Yeah, status report, franchise status report. And we're going to do it with 4 different sets of franchises. We're going to do, of course, the MCU and Captain America as a whole, too. We're also going to do, because we are fucking men, we are going to pivot hard right into Bridget Jones, as we both saw the 4th movie and have seen the majority of those movies. So let's fucking go. We're going to do Bridget Jones as a franchise now that the novels are done. So if they do anything from now on, it's all off book. So we'll see. We'll see if it has any legs going forward or how that feels. We're also going to talk about Paddington because I saw Paddington in Peru today. That is the 3rd installment in the Paddington franchise. And as I was reading in the theater, because I feel like this is my life every time I see a movie now, I looked up whether there was a post-credit scene for Paddington, and in that article they said, well, with Paddington 4 already greenlit, I was like, really? So we'll talk about that probably. And then Cobra Kai, a show that we've talked about many times on this show, and obviously part of the greater, like, it's Cobra Kai / Karate Kid, because before Paddington I saw the newest trailer for, what is it called? Karate Kid Legacy?
Legacies?
Something?
Legacies? Plural?
Yeah, sure. So, like, this is all kind of tying together now because Ralph Macchio ends Cobra Kai and then now is going into Jackie Chan, teaching a young Asian boy, like, basically, like, that guy's the Macchio to Jackie Chan's Mr. Miyagi, but you also have him. So does that make him chosen? How are we doing this?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, or Johnny Lawrence or whatever. We can all kind of mix and match here. But yeah, we'll talk about Cobra Kai, the ending of that, and then it's Karate Kid future in all that. Oh, but deep breath, yes. Shane. Let's get into Captain America Brave New World and where we are with the MCU. I just want to hit a reset before we watch this movie. The anticipation level, not for just this movie, but like kind of like zooming out a little to be like, is the MCU, if you said before you watch this movie, would you be like, the MCU's in probably one of the better places it's been in a while? Would that be accurate? Or at least like you had some optimism for the future, a little bit of everything, right?
We had some optimism, I would say.
Because you got the Fantastic Four trailer that we didn't fully talk about, and we can get to. But at least we ended last week's episode by just saying at least we were both pro.
Yep.
So you're looking at that trailer and you have a sense of optimism for the summer. I'm not anti-Thunderbolts. You know, it's always a cool team up. I'm not fully invested, but I think it's good because it has two people I like, at least in it, with Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan. Oh, and David Harbour too, of course. So, and especially in a year for him where he's trying to do the double play with Stranger Things. So that's great for him. So again, a little bit of sense of like, if you're looking forward, you're not like, oh, just dreading, right? So here we have Captain America Brave New World, where it's like, okay, you could sell me. I told you, like, the low bar to clear for me is just a good action movie, Red Hulk, fucking fine. Let's do this. Let's get it done. But of course, it's got, if you look deep into it, if you looked at like the stat sheet before you watch this movie, things start to make a lot of sense, Shane. First of all, the movie is directed by Julius Onah. Are you familiar with Julius Onah?
I am not.
Did you see the Cloverfield Paradox? The Netflix movie that was so bad and so high profile because they publicized to go watch it after the Super Bowl. And then people proceeded to go, what the hell was that? Do you remember this?
I do remember. Now that you say it, that's how easily it was unrememberable because I totally forgot it even existed till you just brought it up.
Yeah. That was directed by Julius Onah. This movie has 5 screenplay credits, 3 story by credits. That's a lot, Shane. That's embarrassing. We also know about things like the excessive amount of reshoots because, you know, when you're in the midst, they probably had like storylines with like Kang somehow in a post-credit scene, or like, you know, they probably had all kinds of things where it's like you're looking at that direction they used to have before they kind of ripped it up and went Fantastic Four, Doom heavy, you know, Secret Wars heavy stuff. But of course, we have some familiar faces here with Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, aka former Falcon, current Captain America. Harrison Ford as President Thaddeus Ross, who was not the original Thaddeus Ross, but here we are. Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, who I believe, is he only in the TV show, or was he in any of the last MCU movies?
From what I remember, he was in the TV show.
Okay. Which, again, we will get all up in that in a minute. Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns. Shira Haas as Ruth, a.k.a. are we trying to replace Black Widow? Shrug.
Sure.
Even though she's, what? I didn't look it up, but I'm going to go 4'3".
That's being generous.
Yeah, she's a tiny little thing. Giancarlo Esposito here. Carl Lumbly, also from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Liv Tyler, Sebastian Stan, also making cameos in here too. Because Shane, if you want a movie to succeed, you build it on the back of MCU shows that didn't get critically well received, and The Incredible Hulk, and The Eternals. So that's what we try to do here. And somehow, miraculously, this movie made $100 million domestically in its 4-day weekend, with another 92.4 international for a $192.4 million total. That is, as we were talking off air, above what we thought, at least. And I believe that's mostly just the Beavis and Butthead level, like, Red Hulk. Like, is it really that easy? I guess. And the answer is yeah. I guess. This movie, as far as the plot is concerned, Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, as named at the end of Endgame, but also kind of had to justify it in Falcon and Winter Soldier because he's still called Falcon, as the title suggests, finds himself in the middle of an international incident and must discover the motive behind a nefarious global plan. That is as broad as you could possibly think. This movie is not doing well out here critically. It has a 2.6 on Letterboxd, 50% Rotten Tomatoes score with an 80% audience score. We'll get to that nonsense in a minute. 6.1 IMDb, also kind of generous. Because it also has a 43 Metascore. With all that said, now that we have both seen this movie, I want to know so much. But obviously, I want to kick it over to you because this is a movie that feels so beaten up, scattershot, ripped apart, thrown back together, and I don't even know if it's a movie, but I also don't know if it's the worst MCU movie. My brain is like really messed up about it, and almost like I wish I didn't care about the larger MCU, or I didn't do my weirdo critical thing and rank all the MCU movies like a savage. But honestly, what are we really talking about here? Because this is easily in the bottom 3 of the MCU after watching this movie. Do you agree, sir?
Well, let's put it this way. I saw this with a buddy of mine, and we got done in about, I don't know, there's still about a half hour to go. And I swear to God, we looked at each other and said, you know what? Craven was a better movie than this movie. And he goes, absolutely was.
Oh.
So that's where I'm at with this movie. I posted before I went in, I had a very low bar, and it didn't clear the low bar I had set for it. I felt this movie had so many issues with the derivative plot lines, kind of like from Civil War / Winter Soldier, that was just a poor substitute for those movies. And then
it's Temu version, or it's whatever is being almost generous. Yeah.
Right. I kind of like jotted down like it wanted to make us feel some kind of connection with the Isaiah Bradley character and Anthony and Sam Wilson character, which it didn't build up enough equity in that. So it's not the Bucky / Steve Rogers relationship, but that's kind of what it like wants to be. And it's not like, I don't care. And then I honestly didn't realize it was going to lean so heavily into the Incredible Hulk movie, because they kept bringing up Harlem and the Abomination, and Liv Tyler's character, and then it brings out the leader, and I laughed every time he was on screen because he looked like the Gecko fucking Geico, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Not to mention having horrible cauliflower head. Like he might as well be in an SNL sketch. Yeah,
it was laughable. It was laughable. It's just another throwaway MCU villain that didn't make much sense upon completion of this movie. Like, so what was his goal? Oh, what? Okay, whatever, man. And the new Black Widow was fine, but like I didn't like hers, and I don't know. I thought there's a lot wrong with this movie. I didn't like Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Ross. I didn't, and I know it's hard because you always envision William Hurt, and he was perfect. And then you go to Harrison Ford. He just didn't bring that same gravitas, that same just like, I don't know, gritty performance to that role that I thought it needed. Like he was a weak link in this movie throughout.
Shane, you and I know exactly what he was doing. He was trying to dial up Air Force One again. He doesn't have the fastball right now.
Right. And the CGI was all over the place. There is a scene
embarrassing, Shane.
Yes,
embarrassing.
There is a scene, and you're besides that him like surf riding the missile. Let's get past that one.
Sure.
It was at the end when he's giving the speech to the Red Hulk to try to get him to calm down, and then the people in the background was like, it's like they just photoshopped them in this green screen. It looks so bad. I think I audibly laughed at that moment in the movie theater, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. It was all over the place, and the action was boring after a while. The saving grace is this movie was just under 2 hours, thank God. And Out of Eyes, I laughed.
Yet it still lagged.
And I laughed so hard because we were idiots and we waited for the post-credit scene. And after it's done, I'm like, duh, Captain Obvious, really? Like, I don't wait for the post-credit scene. Look it up on Google, people, because you're gonna be mad you wasted your fucking 15 minutes sitting there waiting for that garbage scene. This movie was just terrible, and I feel bad for Anthony Mackie because I like him generally as Falcon. And let's be real, when you're attached to Steve Rogers and Chris Evans for fucking 15 years, like it's hard to have someone else be the Captain America, and that was a problem that I had. So Not a racist thing, people. It's just the way it is. And they bring that into the movie like, I can't be Steve Rogers. I'm not. But they never really gave him the script or anything to like separate himself or like becoming his own person in this movie. It just never materializes. So I don't know, Andrew. This movie's a mess. There's a lot wrong with it. And it just, I don't know.
Well, let's go first and foremost. This movie, it totally killed all the momentum that the MCU had from Deadpool and Wolverine, the Fantastic Four trailer, and whatever feelings, if you had any positivity towards Thunderbolts, you might start to like question what you were doing in the first place, right? And how can you have any confidence in anything after seeing this movie? Also, this movie was a bathroom break for the MCU. This was just dumping out old shit, clearing the decks, like just wasting time. It had nothing to do with anything. And the things that it had are long, dormant, done, gone. The balls to really use Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk movie that no one talks about. No one is just ridiculous. And I had to go like, I don't even remember half the stuff that happens in that movie. I'm like trying to just piece things together as it's going. And every few minutes, it's like, you know, my brother and I who have watched all this stuff, we're just like, is that supposed to be this? Is that supposed to be that? Like, what happened here? Who's this? And oh, by the way, as we already noted, you know, Harrison Ford's a new version of somebody. We're already trying to still get used to the fact that Anthony Mackie's Captain America. And that there's also kind of a replacement Falcon with him. And, God, Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier was, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
More?
Yeah, 4 years. 4 or 5. 2021, buddy.
Okay. All right. 4 fucking years. So, this movie, would you say, and which is blasphemy, it's weird, in the MCU, which prides itself on trying to have this momentum, this storyline that attaches to everything, everything's canon, all these things that they can kind of latch on to and all these things, that this movie felt closer to the throat clearing of the Aquaman sequel than, and again, I want to say I'm not comparing quality, but the point of like, hey, we all know that Snyderverse is dead. James Gunn is this. Like, this movie feels like, you know, a Friday night or, you know, journalism dump where it's like, we don't want anyone to see this, so we're just going to throw this out here and hope, you know, hope for the best. It did nothing. It's not a building block to the next thing, because the next thing is Thunderbolts, and there's nothing here. Nope. And in fact, I had more questions about, wait, Sebastian Stan in that trailer for the Thunderbolts seems like a very different place than where he is in this movie, just doing a small cameo. So that seems odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's definitely not a congressman or running for Congress.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a fucking castaway, right?
Yes.
So where and when does that happen? And that struck me like really, of all the things in this movie that you could do, that's just another one to where you're like, wait, are you fucking up your next movie while you're doing this too? So I also want to say that Brave New World is an interesting title. One, because you watch this movie and you go, what Brave New World? There's nothing revelatory about this. You brought that up where it kind of feels derivative. It feels, you know, of a piece with other things we've already done, except with less talent and worse writing and good God, it's one of those like copy and paste jobs that feel like it's exposition like 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time it's some rah-rah speech given to another person to try to figure this whole thing out, or, you know, to champion something, to give a little life into something, which is just awful. But the Brave New World seems to be that it's a world where the MCU relies on its TV shows for character intros to their movies. It's a world where they stop giving writers and directors a sense of point of view or style on their movies. Because, as I said to you, I saw this movie and went home, and I happened to be clicking channels, and Winter Soldier was on. It was pretty much early in the movie, so I just kind of just watched Winter Soldier. Oh my God. They don't even seem like they're made by the same producers. Like, it's stark how much that movie looks so cinematic. The CGI is incredible compared to anything that's going on now, which we could talk about that too as like this separate thing to where that just keeps happening over and over. And I just kept thinking, like, for anyone who's like, oh, you know, it's Marvel and, you know, they have to kind of try to piece these things together, and almost like the sympathy for like their own creation, how like things like this are bound to happen. Man, don't you just wish, like, because they spent, I thought it was $350 million on this movie, I want to say.
Where'd it go?
Well, just reshoot after reshoot after reshoot. And I just go like, damn, I'm pretty confident that like any of the John Wick movies don't even surpass $100 million production value.
Right.
And these people went, the whole John Wick franchise might have fit into the budget of this movie, and it looked like absolute shit. And not to mention, even just the basic hand-to-hand combat, they're not even good at that anymore. Like, just going back and looking at Steve Rogers, you know, Winter Soldier, and just doing a one-for-one on that, it's horrendous. It's downright silly what they're doing in this movie. But yeah, that was also back when, you know, they gave directors a little bit of like leeway, like, go ahead and make, yeah, this is Captain America and we have to probably have these certain bullet points, but hey, you want to make a movie that feels like a 70s spy thriller? Great.
Right.
That's awesome. Build in the Hydra stuff. Totally works because everybody hates Nazis, right? America? We still hate Nazis, right? So this just seemed tragic in that regard. We're also in a world where the use of a green screen in Atlanta for everything, to the point of being compared probably closer to Red Notice than prior MCU movies, is an abomination. And it's a world where the amount of reshoots in ADR get your movie compared more to Madam Web than any previous Captain America movie. Those were my thoughts when I left the theater.
Yeah, I mean, and justifiably so, I think we're on the same page here. And don't get me started on a wasted Giancarlo Esposito like character. Like, what the heck? Like, yeah, such a great actor, and you throw him away. Like,
I feel like there were, like, again, at minimum, 3 different versions of this script, and they used just parts of each of them. It's lazy. It's like, here's where my brain, it sucks though, right? Because in a way, this movie is like boring and has all these things. I just don't know how to rank this shit though, because I think for all of its faults, and again, I don't want, we've talked about this before, I don't want to have to go back and rewatch the Marvels or the Eternals to know where this piece of shit ranks. But I don't know if I could give it lower than a certain level of score, because I will say this. And I stand by my Craven statement, by the way. But I will say I enjoyed, in the theater at the time, in the moment, I enjoyed the Marvels more than I enjoyed this movie. If you want to see where my head's at. Because in my eyes, for me, the worst MCU movie, and it's not even close, is The Eternals. That will always be my bottom. So above that would be like Thor Dark World. It would be the Marvels. It would be this now. But like, in the moment, I at least had a better time watching the Marvels than I did this movie. See, the Eternals was boring, but at least like the production values I wasn't upset about. And it like looked good cinematically, because at least it feels like forever ago, right? When that movie came out, also it came out right after Shang-Chi, right? So that's late 2020, early 2021.
Yep.
Yeah. So how is that? How are we so far afield? And I've seen this on Twitter, by the way, where guys who are CGI artists, graphic artists of some sort, VisFX artists, that they're like, oh yeah, because Disney treats their people like shit, so nobody's putting in maximum effort, and then combine that with all the reshoots and everything in the terrible production schedules. That's how you get this. Ugh. And that's where I start to get worried, because if our next stop, basically, I saw this. I don't want to seem like I'm just taking other people's stuff, but I did listen to The Big Picture, which I always do. Great movie podcast. And Sean Fantasy was like, basically, if Fantastic Four is bad, this might get real fucking dark. Like, these movies might go dark if they're going to get through Secret Wars or Dooms, whatever, to finish that shit off. If numbers really start to go south and any of these are like critically panned, they're really fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I had that sense before this movie, outside of the Deadpool blip that we had success with. It was a good Marvel movie, but like, I don't know. Like, you said the perfect thing. If Fantastic Four is bad, and I don't think it will be, but if it flops or is not as good as we think it's going to be, they are in a world of hurt going forward. Yeah. Because I do think now it probably won't make as much in the box office, but I do have higher hope for Thunderbolts because, like you said, it's an ensemble cast, which leans or tends to be you at least can find good moments in the different characters within that movie. So I have at least higher hopes. I'll enjoy that more in the theater, as flawed as it probably will be.
Sure.
But I'll have a better time with the Thunderbolts than I did with this movie. But Fantastic Four, I think, is where we're hanging all our hats on the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's almost like a hard reset.
Yes.
Because look at the two movies they put before it. They're kind of like, I don't want to say street level, but a little more street level, a little less like magical or superhero level. You know, there's not a ton of super serum or any of the other stuff as they noted in this, although then you get hulked out and it turns into a same thing. It always happens with MCU, except worse in terms of the third act. I don't know, man. Like, but at least again, Thunderbolts, some of those guys have obviously clear kind of like upgrades, powers, whatever, but a lot of it is kind of more street level.
Yes.
And it's going to be so odd if Wyatt Russell is really good or charming or funny or anything here, where it's going to make Sam Wilson, Mackie look like real shit if he gets upstaged in a movie that's like not his.
Right. Did you feel the same way, though, about the end credits where you just roll your eyes and be like, really, that's your speech? Like, don't we know that already? Like, aren't we aware that we're not the only ones here? Like, seriously?
100%. How many conversations have you and I just had personally of like, wait, so which universe is this? Which, and for you, like, we always are just guessing, is this, what is it, 2099, 2070, like 2170? Where are we? We turned into like me guessing the Harrison Ford shows in the Taylor Sheridan universe. What year is that? 1923, 1919, 1940? Like, you just start throwing fucking numbers out there. So it's already a little confusing. And this is where it all falls apart in my head, where I just go, okay. I was partially looking forward to this movie because I thought it was going to be more straightforward and that we were going to have, I don't know, like we're stepping out of the multiverse shit.
Yep.
And Thunderbolts would also be, hypothetically, stepping out of the stepping out of the multiverse stuff. And then everything about Fantastic Four is like, I think we're going to get half a movie that isn't that way, and then we're immediately going to be back in because that's how we're going to get all this Secret Wars crossover and everything going forward with that. And I don't know, man. I'm scared.
Yeah, no, you should be.
I'm shook. And I know this movie shouldn't, like I said, it's going to be a fucking speed bump. It's a bathroom break. But I don't know.
I hate to say this movie's like a throwaway movie. Like, if it didn't exist, I'd go on just like piecing every other MCU movie together. Like this, again, was, a throwaway bathroom break.
That's why I said it's Aquaman 2. Because that movie was like, is this even going to go into theaters? Like, people were like, what? No. Oh, yeah, that movie's coming out. Okay.
Yep.
And there was no fanfare. It was just, all right, we'll toss this out because we're going to restart in Superman soon enough. So that's what this feels like with the MCU. They're kind of like hard resetting with Fantastic Four. And if they wanted to take the pressure off of that release and that kind of a reset, they really fucked it up by having this movie be so bad, because now everybody's just even looking more to the future and actually with more concern trolling than anything before. So that's not a good position for Marvel. It's not a good position for Disney. And God, it makes you wonder, like, why didn't they just make standalone movies? Like, we talked about this with the Fantastic Four thing. Like, I don't know if that was off mic or not. Like, wouldn't it be great to see like one movie of this group just hanging out, solving something, and get a little momentum? Just make a good Fantastic Four movie, and then you could start thinking about integrating them into this MCU multiverse nonsense. I just want that kind of stuff. And then of course they botched Blade, so that was probably part of this time period. Yeah. Would that have been this year? I don't even
It would have been this year. It would have been November, I think, of this year.
Yeah. So again, another like kind of street level-ish thing that would have been fun, especially if Daredevil, the show, ends up being good.
It's going to be good.
Your lips to God's ears, man. Yeah. Or Mickey Mouse's ears, whoever you want to fucking say.
If it's bad, you're going to see a sobbing, crying podcast partner for the X following weeks if they ruin Daredevil on me. I'll be crushed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Like I said, especially because I'm doing the rewatch now, and it's like I'm even more pumped. So like every episode is like he gets like pummeled like to near death, and then it's like and Kingpin working behind the scenes, and then it just goes again, adds a layer, and it's like, okay, where are we now? Because we're in Echo version of Kingpin now. So
I know.
Who are we? Where are we? So as a whole now, so if I'm taking your temperature, if I'm doing the franchise status update, I want separate answers from you for where do you think Captain America sits right now, and where does the MCU feel for you right now?
That's a good one. Let's tackle Captain America first, because I don't know, honestly, where they go from this movie with the Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie character. I really don't. With the way they ended this movie and just the movie in general, I think it's at a low point. Like, I don't know where to go. Like, I know it's mentioned in the movie that, he wants to get the Avengers back together, and, I think they say, though, Captain America will be back. Honestly, I think that refers to Chris Evans, to be honest with you. I don't think that refers to Anthony Mackie. That's just my hunch. But, like, I don't know where you go with this character. I don't. I think you just lost all momentum into turning this character into something, and you failed miserably. So I don't know where that goes. It's not in a good spot. And MCU as a whole right now is still riding that low bar for me until Fantastic Four comes out. I think we'll have to reevaluate based on that movie, but like they're both low. I mean, they were both low points in the character arc for Captain America and as MCU as a whole. Because I'll just tell you what I rated this movie. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, the more I keep talking, so I had it in my head. I'm like, can I really give anything Marvel less than 2.5? Because I want to say the way I had it was I think I gave 2.5 to the Marvels and the Eternals. And I was like, so either what I'm saying by giving it a 2 is that this is the worst MCU film, or I have to kind of revisit some terrible movies to then be like, should those have been lower? So that's hard.
Just go with your heart, man. What is your heart telling? What is your gut telling you right now? It's telling me a 2.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've had this conversation many times to where it's like we're really haggling here over a 2 or a 2.5, But somehow it means more to me because of literally I would just be like saying 100% this is the worst MCU movie they've ever made. But it might be.
Yeah, it might be.
So I'm with you. I'll give the 2, but just don't kill me if you look at my letterbox later and it's not.
No. I get it. I get it. because unlike you, I want to say I gave the Eternals a 2.5. Because at the time when we were ranking MC movies, I had the same thought pattern. Like, I'm not getting, like, there's no way an MC movie can get it lower than a 2.5.
Yeah.
And then I gave the Marvels a 2.5. But
and Thor Dark World too. I want to toss that in there.
And I'm done playing nice with the MCU. If your movie's a 1 or 1.5, and that's what it's going to be for me, this movie's a 2.
And here's the thing, just based on the CGI alone and the fact that this was directionless slop.
Ugh.
It's so hard to compare to anything because it doesn't even feel like a movie. It just felt like every 5-10 minutes, it was just, okay, where are we going? I'm like a kid lost in the supermarket, just like looking down aisles, just hoping that something will make sense soon. And then you like, oh, I see my mom. But then like, you know, then somehow I get pants by a bully. Like nothing, like there's no optimism coming out of this thing. I don't know. I'm like I said, my brain is scattershot already, and it is about this movie too. So it's not good. And I agree with you a lot about all of those things. The Captain America thing, if you thought you could do anything with Sam Wilson, your hope was the glimmer in this movie where I thought the stuff about that they carried over from Falcon and Winter Soldier about the original, you know, black Captain America, I wanted to call him Avery Bradley, but that's because I'm a Celtics fan. It's Isaiah Bradley. You know, that whole thing I thought had some meat. I actually kind of liked it. And then they immediately were like, we'll just throw him in jail and we'll figure this fucking thing out. It was like so low bar, low stakes, just tossed aside.
Yep.
And meanwhile, the hardest thing for Marvel has to be, too, to be like, we made our choice. We did this whole plot line with Falcon taking over as Captain America. And then, over the next couple of years, Sebastian Stan turns into a much bigger star than Anthony Mackie. And you're probably going, fuck. Because in the comics, Bucky Barnes does take the shit.
Yeah. Yep.
So you literally had a choice to make. And I don't know. Like that 5-minute scene of them together, I'm like, sorry, that guy's a star. Anthony Mackie is Twisted Metal season 2.
Yep. Yeah.
And again, nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
He just doesn't have command. And to me, that was the same thing with Shira Haas, if you want to get back to that point too. She's so small and just doesn't have like a face or a structure that screams to me the presence that I know. And Scarlett Johansson's not a big person either, but something in her frame, her attitude, she just has that presence. They had it. They had all this shit. And now I knew it was going to be a tough climb post Endgame. But now you're really seeing it when they're trying to almost recast or retool these certain characters that were not, you know, Captain America is the bigger example, of course, because like that's a franchise. But like, even just to kind of like do like, yeah, she was in the Red Rooms and, you know, has the same type of skill set as Black Widow, but we won't call her Black Widow.
Right.
We'll just put her on the security team and see what happens. But
right. So to summarize, Anthony Mackie is the Sam Bowie to Sebastian Stan's Michael Jordan, is what you're saying.
I don't think it's that stark.
All right, Rick Meyer, Drew Bledsoe. You give me that a little bit, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Or even, yeah. Because calling Anthony Mackie Drew Bledsoe is a little doesn't work. Because Drew Bledsoe, I don't know, he was really good.
Well, no, that's why Sebastian Stan would be Drew Bledsoe in this equation.
No. I was trying to think in my head, is it Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady? But that's giving maybe a little too much credit to both of them. I don't know. But I don't know. Like, you'll see, again, it was the same conversation I just brought up with Wyatt Russell. If you see Sebastian Stan come in and command in Thunderbolts, and he's just that, like, adding to his star turn, ooh, just the compounding mistakes.
Yep.
And also, if Thunderbolts doesn't work, I'm going to go back to the same well as this movie did, where I go, this is why you don't launch full-scale plot lines or new characters in your Disney Plus shows. you fucked up.
Yep.
So, and even when they talked Abomination, I had to go like, wait, which Abomination? Is it the Abomination from She-Hulk? Or was there an Abomination in the Incredible Hulk? I had to like and then it ended up didn't even matter. So, just tearing me apart, Lisa. It's fucking killing me. Want to go play football on the roof. So, yeah. Bad stuff for the franchise. Hopefully Thunderbolts is just fun. Can we just have a basic standalone fun movie, please? And then, Fantastic Four, so much pressure. So much pressure now. But this is where I like to do the hard pivot.
We need to. We need a hard pivot. Yes.
The palate cleanser. That is Bridget Jones. Mad About the Boy. Came out on Peacock. Straight to streaming. We'll get to all that stuff. And this is the fourth movie in this franchise based on the novel. This is a franchise that started more than 20 years ago. Yeah, so we're talking almost 25 years ago. They even mentioned it in the movie where they're like, we've been friends for 20 years, and they're like, try closer to 30. And that's absolutely true if you're going by movie years, real years. This movie is directed by Michael Morris, who did the... If you're an Oscar person, you love to hear the words "to Leslie" because that was such a controversial thing with its lead actress getting in to Best Actress conversation of that year when nobody even saw that movie. It was hilarious at the time. So this is based on, like I said, the novel by Helen Fielding. She also co-wrote the screenplay on this one, which if you want to do the deep dive of what movies are successful, which ones she had more hands in, you can almost kind of draw a parallel that the more she's involved as the author and writing the script, the better the movies get. But we'll get to that. This, of course, brings back Renee Zellweger as the titular character, Bridget Jones. Also brings back Hugh Grant. Brings in Colin Firth, but not in the way you think. Also bring in Chiwetel Ejiofor, Leo Woodall, who, speaking of White Lotus, which just started season 3, he was an old White Lotus head. He was also in Netflix's One Day. And those two are kind of, not the love triangle, because they're kind of just almost passing ships in the night, but a little bit of triangle-iness. This brings Bridget Jones to a certain point in her life as she navigates being a widow and a single mother with the help of her family, friends, and former lover, Daniel, Hugh Grant. Back to work and on the app, she's pursued by a younger man and maybe, just maybe, her son's science teacher. Now, this movie is getting probably the best reviews since the first movie.
Yep.
It has a 6.8 IMDb, 72 Metascore, 86 Rotten Tomato score with a 76 audience score, 3.5 on Letterboxd. So, you hear that, Anthony Mackie? Sort of fucking stardust. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just so mad now. But this movie went straight to streaming, Shane, and here in the U.S. domestically.
Yep.
We talked about this. Overseas, doing quite well because they had faith in it as a product to at least probably Great Britain, and it's making a bunch of money. And I watched this movie, and I thought it had a lot of the fun and charm of the previous installments that I've watched. I didn't watch part 3. I will put that out there. I didn't feel lost. I thought, wow, Renee Zellweger is back, because for a long time when she's not Bridget Jones, she just seemed like, it's like, all right, she's doing the Judy thing. She won Best Actress, but outside of that, I couldn't name you maybe another thing she was in the last, like, what? Decade?
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the last movie of this was
2015, I want to say, somewhere around there. Yeah.
So where you been? And like when she was doing it, I was like, God, she just slipped right back into this role. I thought it was incredible in terms of the writing and the consistency, especially when all these movies are all directed by somebody different, and a lot of them are not written by the same people either. Sometimes Helen Fielding as the author gets involved, and a couple of them wrote on the last movie, But outside of that, there's no like huge continuity. There's no Richard Curtis anymore. So it's funny how these movies, they don't feel exactly the same, but she's not exactly the same. So I found that fine. And I will say, as a parent, and maybe as a parent who's working on some things, I wept when her son sings towards the end and everything. So with all that said, I really like this movie, and it's one of my favorite movies of the year so far.
You know, surprisingly, because when this came in my radar, I didn't know this movie was coming out. I swear to God. Bridget 4, I did not have this in my bingo card. I did not have a fourth Bridget Jones. I just happened to see a Peacock commercial saying that streaming this weekend. I'm like, get the out of here.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I enjoyed the first two, like yourself. I did not see the third one. Did not feel lost at all. This movie, I really enjoyed it. I did. It had like that sensibility of the first one. I agree with Renee Zellweger. She slid right back into this role. She was charming. She was funny. I had a good time. I liked Ejiofor as Mr. Wallaker. I thought he was a great addition to this movie. I wish Hugh Grant was in it a little bit more, but I didn't mind that. Like
he was so good. Him and Emma Thompson, I was like, bravo. That's how you fucking do it.
Yep. Great additions. Great scenes he was in. I'm sorry, I forget her name, but she played the nanny, the babysitter. She was in Suncoast. She was good. Leo Woodall as the man that Bridget Jones hooks up with was good. Like the whole thing was good. It had heart. It was funny. It showed the struggles of someone in their 50s, what it would be like just trying to get back out there professionally and just dating in this new 2025 world. And all the troubles that she would come. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I went through everything. And this movie could have been released in the theater, especially on Valentine's Day. I thought it was movie theater quality. This movie was, I thought.
Yeah.
The only doubt is I would have liked to see a little more between Ejiofor's character and her character. I just thought that kind of fast forwarded at that point in the movie. They kind of had to fast forward that whole thing. Even though they put breadcrumbs out during the whole movie, because you kind of know right away who she's going to end up with, or like you had the feeling. I just thought they kind of like hit the gas pedal at like the hour 40-minute mark into the movie. Like, okay, we got to like progress this story arc real quick. Outside that, I laughed. I didn't cry, but it was emotional.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. But no, it was really sweet. It was good. It was funny. Who knew in the fourth of this franchise that no one was calling for, or no one knew, I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it like a 3.5. So I agree with Letterboxd, man. And I want to see more Renee Zellweger. Like you said, outside of Judy, I don't remember a movie she's been in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Why does she, well, we can go through a lot of things, but this is a franchise for her. And she gets to be a star. Right. Which is big for people. And unfortunately for women getting older, they don't always get these roles. And then how many times have we said like rom-coms specifically have gone to streaming and usually have a reduced quality a lot of times or whatever. And they're using, honestly, people who are probably beneath her talents a lot of times in these movies. So I don't blame her if she gets some random rom-com to do on Netflix or whoever or Prime, that she's probably like, no, thank you. And I don't think she's done the Reese Witherspoon thing. They're kind of similar, right? Like a little bit, like as far as like the kind of movies they could be in or have been in. Yep. Like for every Reese Witherspoon in Walk the Line, she does Judy and like has the Oscar involvement, has done like the maybe small indie from time to time, but also largely does stuff where they could be a star. Yeah. And the difference is that Reese pivoted to TV, which a lot, like her, Nicole Kidman, a lot of them, to keep the star power going and the wheels turning and the money coming in, they have now gone to prestige TV, and Renee Zellweger has not. So that's how I kind of see her career, that she kind of, she had her time in the sun, then Judy gave her Oscar, and then she now gets to make the last of Bridget Jones. And I would assume that unless she decides like, we'll make an off-book version of Bridget Jones 5 on straight to Peacock, because straight to Peacock we could do for less money or whatever and just try to keep it going. but why? I thought this movie was a good way to cap it too. Did you feel that too?
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect end cap to this franchise in this movie.
Yeah. And I'm kind of hemming and hawing here because I'm fine with 3.5, but my heart wants to say 4.
Right. Yeah, because I can see that.
If you get me that emotionally invested, but somehow I'm probably going to look at it at the end of the year and go, really? But I kind of thought of it, and again, they're two vastly different movies, but I was just like, did it make me feel as kind of like good as Companion did? And Companion I give a 4. So like, maybe I give it a 4 for now.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. Because again, it's just, I was impressed with how much it like took its time. It knew what it was. It had 3 different streams going on between like the dating thoughts, the widow, and the family kind of recovering still from the absence of Colin Firth, and how it ends up with the science teacher is kind of a mix of both of those.
Yep.
So I thought that could have gone awry, and you can almost tell it's based on the novel and the author getting involved, because I think she knows how the tempo should go. And I think that goes a long way to making these movies feel continuous and also lived in and established and all those things.
Yeah.
It's impressive. For like I said, for the fact that we haven't had, I think we had 4 movies and 4 directors.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty cool. So go check that out, everybody. If you haven't, if you saw previous ones, maybe you skipped the third one like we did. It's a good time to get back in, because it's easily. I was about to say it's easily the third, but like I haven't seen the other third.
That's right, you have not seen the third.
I would say it's probably better than part 2.
Yeah, I agree.
And the OG is the OG. There's a reason why it kept going. And of course they had to like twist the knife a little bit by doing that montage of like all the movies or whatever to show you like all what we had. And I was like, God, so good. So good. But moving forward, I saw Paddington in Peru today. I just want to put out there that this is one of those things where I've had Paddington 1 and 2 on my watch list forever. But everyone also says like that Paddington 2 is so good that like you'll want to die for that fucking bear, and that like you'll be a weeping, crying mess. And so when I see that, I was just like, God, when am I going to have time to watch both Paddington movies and then know that I'm going to be like emotionally like wrecked, So I'm watching the third one, and it's fine. It's currently like, it's got really good scores. I think it's got like a 3.5 on Letterboxd. And people are still liking it. But that's like I don't want to say a far cry. The first movie has like a 3.8. The second movie has like a 4.2. There's people who love these Paddington movies. But this movie, I was like, I had a good time. It's like a little bit of an adventure, and about like kind of almost found families versus where you come from, and a little bit of like the pains of like trying to discover where you originate from, or what your original roots come from, all those things. And it does have just a lot of like its charms. I don't know if 3.5 is accurate to me. And it makes me kind of sour a little bit on should I go back. And I'm sure people are like screaming into the, their phones right now or whatever they're listening to and go, you fucking idiot. Those movies are excellent. Go back and watch the other ones. This one's good, but the other ones are like, wow. So don't let it dissuade me. But I think the thing that concerns me the most is that they're making a 4th, because this movie felt like ho-hum. It felt fine, but it's so weird that this movie gets a big release and makes a bunch of money. Because again, I think it's because it's a children's movie, and those still are like a family film, and those still make money at the box office.
Right.
And unfortunately, the rom-com we just kind of went over, where it's like, even if you have a franchise rom-com, somehow it still has to go back has to be a streaming option.
Yeah.
So that kills me.
Yeah, you made me laugh real quick, because I saw the first one, didn't see the second one, but every time you just brought up the second one, I just laughed, because I always remember that scene from with Pedro Pascal and Nick Cage when
Are they watching that?
Yeah, he tells Nick Cage his favorite movie of all time is Paddington 2.
Yeah.
And at the time, Nick Cage didn't see it. And at the end of that movie, they're watching Nick Cage. They're both crying their eyes out.
Yeah, exactly. This is where we're living. But and this is where it makes me sad because Paddington Peru is the first one. The first two were by one director who went on to make Wonka instead. And Paddington Peru is not him. So to kind of move forward, it just feels like we're just going to keep doing this also ran, trying to recapture the magic where the other ones, they had a sense of purpose, they had a direction, they had a quality, and now we're just going to keep going. And that's where I'm like, so the status check, Bridget Jones, I think that's over. So And as a 4-movie set, without me seeing the 3, I think that's a pretty damn good franchise.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But I swear to God, if they try to make another one or if they make a TV show or something, I'll be upset. And the same thing is kind of going with Paddington here, where it's like, you're making a 4th one. Why? Where's the juice? Because at the end of that movie, I did not go, oh, man, they set up this thing really well, or, oh, there's so much meat left on the spot. No, there isn't.
Right.
Or it's not going to capture anything of what you're doing. It's just straight money. And again, fine, whatever. Everything is now a sequel, and everything is studios chasing easy ideas. But good God, make it stop. So that's my quick, 5-minute status check on Paddington and Paddington Peru. Again, fine movie to watch. My son said he loved it. So
that's all that matters, right?
If you're trying to get 8-year-olds to be like Paddington's the shit, he'll mission accomplished. You got my 8-year-old on it, but my 10-year-old was like, So that's a tough age level to be working with. But again, I wonder if they saw the early ones, then we'd be, a little more over the moon, or maybe a little more pragmatic and being like, that was good, but I really like the other ones more,
right.
Something. And the scores bear that out. But let's end on Cobra Kai, buddy, and the Karate Kid franchise rejuvenation, we can call it.
Yeah.
Franchise check on them. They dropped, what was it, 5 episodes to finish?
5. Yep, 5.
And it was already, we kind of joke about it, but the fact that when the last drop of these episodes for his final season happened, and we were like, people are fucking dying, Shane. What? There was a mass just karate fight amongst teenagers of the global variety that ends in a fucking tragic death. Wow, where Cobra Kai is gone. But I thought this last 5 had a mix of holy hell, we're going to get the end of an era kind of a thing where they're going to basically wrap up every single character who had anything to do with this franchise in the last, what is this, season 5?
Season 5, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 5. No, season 6, I think. This was season 6.
Okay. So yeah, season 6. Everybody who had a hand in all these seasons is going to get a little shine, right? But the one thing that you just knew, for them to end this, I was like, okay, knowing where we are in the Saikai Taikai, we knew they had to get that back on board. We knew that, Silver was going to be a maniac because he has been and he's not going to change. And so the 2 kind of variables for me, well, maybe 3, was, okay, where did the villains go? And I did not see the Kreese switch stance because I don't know how earned that was, but I felt like that had a lot of good moments for it. So I enjoyed that. And then obviously wherever the kids go, there's a lot of this person's going to this college, this person's going to this, because it's all it's not just the end of this show, it's the end of high school for a lot of them, it's the end of a lot of things, relationships changing, careers starting, blah blah blah. So it had a lot of stuff to kind of be almost like the end of a high school comedy or a high school movie where you're just almost put the yearbook thing up or whatever. Like, this person went on to go do this thing and whatever. And like, so they all kind of do the check-in. And a lot of that was fine. I find it weird, like maybe what romances stay or who's going where and how those things go. But I thought they did okay with it. And the one thing that I'd want your opinion on is how much of this story, it kind of goes back to being like, this is Johnny's story. Mm-hmm. And it really made the last few episodes to be like, no, this is really Johnny's story. And when the fucking senseis have to fight, I was like, this show, if it wasn't ending, has just jumped all the sharks. Like, it's ran out of ideas. It's wrung out the sponge. But somehow this show, because it's been so crazy and it knows it, that somehow you're just like, of course. And you're still going to get behind it. And there's still all that like over saccharine drama, like over the top stuff that you're just like, this show is basically like my soap opera. And, or watching, whatever, some kind of like teen melodrama, but it has just, of course, people we like in it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. This, it's funny you say that because this whole series, it's like you get that idea like, oh man, I haven't had Cheese Whiz in a long time. And then like you start shotgunning, you go through canister Cheese Whiz and you're like, you know what? This is like a bad idea. But then you can't help yourself but just to shotgun that Cheese Whiz right from the canister. That's what this show is. It's a can of Cheese Whiz, right?
Yeah.
It's satisfying at first, then you feel guilt, but then you go back to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to not even apologize. I like how they wrapped up most of these character arcs and like there's nowhere else for them to go. They kind of fast forwarded the whole death of the Saikai Taikai. Try saying that fast 10 times. But like the Kreese ending. God.
By the way, don't do the drinking game if you have to take a shot every time they say Saikai Taikai. You will be dead.
Right. I understood Kreese's turn, even though it wasn't fully earned, but like he's always pushing the boundaries. He's always doing this and that. But I think the death, kind of like staring that in his face, like kind of like once he saw that with his own eyes, kind of like, hey man, I actually pushed it too far. Like this was like the boundary which I didn't think I'd go over. So I get it. And I liked it. Like I liked the way they wrapped up most of the character arcs. I had no problem with it. I thought it's just a good cheesy show to watch, man. I liked it. I liked the Terry Silver angle. Of course, my girl, you did just gloss right over this, but we had a Saved by the Bell Jesse Spano cameo in this. And
good God, Elizabeth Berkley back in the fold to just be a crunch, as they labeled it,
crunchy,
like a crunchy, new age, tarot card reading weirdo.
Yeah, and I thought Chosen is great. He's funny, but like, and by the way, folks, I was always Team Spano. I was never Team Kapowski. Sorry, always Team Spano. Always will be. So
I've told you my allegiances.
You did.
And
you did.
They are the opposite, but like less at the time, but more as life went on, because Tiffany Amber Thiessen, especially doing White Collar and other things later on, that like I love her to death.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But no, and this show, like you said, reaffirms that this is Johnny's story. And as ridiculous as it was, he had to fight that sensei at the end. We all knew it was coming. But he got his redemption. He got what he needed. And it was so satisfying once it happened, man. You kind of cared less about like how it got to that point or why it got to that point. You remembered it was his storyline. And I just really enjoyed it, man. I liked Ralph Macchio's story arc too, with him like embracing the Cobra Kai. Let's bring it back the way you're teaching it. Like it just was all good. I think you still had the cameo by what's the actor's name? The chubby kid. Oh God, he's an Oscar.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser. I like Paul Walter Hauser. Like I liked the way they just ended this, and they had to. Like you said, it was a stretch to get it to 6 seasons, but to me, it was still satisfying, and I finished my can of Cheese Whiz, and I'm good for a long time.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way, and I like how they really focused this to William Zabka, because like honestly, you get the most fun out of him too, and the most turn. Like they really made the wiser choice because he's really coming out of nowhere, and I know that was kind of like the funny part of how they even started this show on YouTube in the first place was like, what if we kind of used a little bit of revisionist history to make him not as bad as we think and kind of, sympathetic and, where we could go from that and then bring back all the old senseis or all the old jerks and really do it. And they really brought back everybody.
They did everybody
from those 3 movies. The only thing is everybody thought that there might be a Hilary Swank thing at some point, but it didn't happen, which I'm thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to like bust up your train of thought, but like, did you cringe? Because I did cringe. The only cringe part I got was the whole Pat Morita CGI, whatever they put him in there.
Uncanny Valley. Hated every minute of it.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I just wish they wouldn't have put that part in there. Like it just didn't. It made me cringe, man. That's the only sour note I had in this entire run is the whole Pat Morita when they brought him into that.
Yeah,
scene.
Unnecessary.
Yeah,
unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
And like you easily just could have had sound instead of audio. You could have brought back more of those moments from the actual films.
Yep.
Or any of it. He finds a fucking letter. I don't give a shit. Do something that isn't to where I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Uncanny Valley, the weird kind of like matching of like where'd they get the sound? Who like are we doing this with AI? Like it just took me out so much and made me think of everything that I don't like about certain things, and that hurt. And especially to be like, did they have permission from the family? Like all these things. It's like, and just even the possibilities of like, oh, well, what else are they going to do this with or whatever. And it's like, it looks like a bad deep fake. And it's like, all right, no need. Absolutely no need. And especially that late in the game.
Right.
Who cares? Yeah. So how taking this as a total, I think this show, again, it's hard to judge because it's just like you said. It's Mountain Dew. It's Cheese Whiz. It's I don't want to brag to people I watch this show, but like you'll be at like a kid's birthday party and be like, oh, you watch that shit too? Okay, cool. And then like suddenly you're like getting wrapped up and talking about like, isn't that wild when they did that? Like, remember when they broke Diaz's back? That's fucking insane, right? Like, so there's always something like that. This show is like the crazy highs and lows. It already came through with a fun way to bring this show in. And yeah, did it like lose momentum in spots in the middle of the seasons, and Silver kind of had to bring it back a little bit, and then it's like, okay, well, they need a tournament. Good God, they need a tournament. And then it's like, you got Saikai Taikai for this. And so it kind of helped with all that too. But I think this season accomplished what it needed
absolutely.
to.
Yep.
And so where do you now sit with it? Like, we're all satisfied. We're drunk on, Mr. Pibb or whatever we're doing. Like we're all good. We're back in our 80s, 90s brains. And now here we sit with Ralph Macchio, Jackie Chan, and a newcomer kid now doing a movie, which, by the way, Bridget Jones couldn't get a movie, but this is a movie, not a Netflix movie. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Where do you sit with that? Have you seen the trailer? Are you invested? How are you?
I'm like toe in invested. I saw the trailer and I saw it again this past weekend at the theater. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you. I was looking for hints and clues on how they're going to tie Daniel LaRusso into this new storyline, and they really didn't. They don't give you any really hints at all.
No, it's really just Jackie Chan reaching out for help because they had a tie with Miyagi-Do.
Yes, exactly right, and that's about it. But I will watch the movie, but again, I'm lukewarm on it. I don't know how I feel about it, because I'll be honest, folks, I did not see the new Karate Kid with the Jackie Chan and Will Smith's son, Jaden. I didn't see it. This is one of the remakes I just refused to see because I'm just staunched with being Karate Kid being one of my favorite movies of all time. I just couldn't stand to see the remake.
Yeah.
So I can't even say, oh, well, that was a decent representation. I want to see more of this character. So I don't have that to like base this off of, but it looks like it could be entertaining. At least my kids want to go see it. So I'm like, well, there's that. So yeah, I just don't know how they're going to tie it into, or if they are going to tie it into the show. If this is going to be like years after the show, like Jackie Chan reaches out. So we'll see.
Yeah. How far away is that movie? Is it May?
It comes out in May.
So here's my problem. I have I'm all in the saturated fats and the trans fats and the whatever we all are ingesting right now as watching Cobra Kai. I wish that movie had been coming out in March so I could still be like, all right, I'm Karate Kid pilled. Let me go. I'll watch this movie. Fine. Right. May is a struggle for me to like, if I still have this same feeling a couple months from now, that would be impressive. Like, I don't even know where that would be. Because I think by the time we get there, it'll be like, we're getting summer movies. What are we talking about?
Right.
So I understand that it may feel like a summer movie to them, but I think they should have timed this out better or tried to do the calculus. I think they're just like, oh, well, it's sort of close or it's within the same year. I think they needed to really shoot one into the other.
Yeah, you made a good point. They should have tied this closer to the end of the series and give us like a couple weeks to breathe and go into it, since we have momentum coming off of Cobra Kai, where we're like amped up to see where Daniel LaRusso goes from here. But now that we're sitting on it for a couple months, like, I'm like, maybe we'll see. I do like, it's funny they shifted from the Valley now to rooftop tournaments. I guess I don't know. I laughed at they're fighting on
fighting
top.
in these streets. That's cool.
They're just fighting on top of a rooftop. All right, let's go.
Yeah,
whatever.
And I haven't heard anything about like, is there any Cobra Kai or bringing other Karate Kid franchisee stuff into it? There's nothing in the trailer that suggests it. I think it's more because it's that kid story.
Yep.
More than it's these guys, but we'll see.
Yeah, my guess is we won't get any tie-in from the show. We won't get a mention of Cobra Kai. Maybe in passing, but like I think this is going to stand on its own. I think they're trying to stand this on its own with the kid's story. So
yeah, and again, another thing where it's like maybe it'll be successful and maybe it'll change my tune. But if you're trying to reboot the franchise again, even after Cobra Kai just ended, right? I think it's a bad move.
Yeah, I do too. Well, but we'll see. Well, we don't want to rush to judgment and pretend like we know what they're doing. But like, I agree. If they're trying to like reboot this franchise with this movie, then I agree with you.
Well, excellent job, sir. That's a lot of work from us.
That was a lot.
A lot of franchise analysis, a lot of good stuff though. Like I wouldn't say anything in the last part outside of Captain America is trash. So there are some good here, especially Bridget Jones and Cobra Kai, and our love for those type of things, but. I will say, if you wanted to add a fifth franchise in here, we are talking the SNL 50 thing. The fact that was also this weekend is amazing. Did you get to watch any of that at all? Because whenever I dip my toe in, I was happy I did.
Right. I've only seen clips so far on YouTube and my Instagram reels. And what I've seen, I liked. But I totally forgot it was even on, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So now I'm just playing catch up.
Yeah, I've only seen a few clips of the actual show, but then I also watched like half of the concert on Friday night too. So, I mean, it was all weekend. It was like a whole big celebration. Like their celebration of SNL 50 eclipsed somehow NBA All-Star Weekend, which I also watched some of that. So it's weird. It's weird that all of this converged all on a holiday weekend, a double holiday weekend, because we had Valentine's Day on Friday.
President's Day.
So like, so we have all of this going on. It's like you got rom-coms, man shit with like NBA weekend and this whatever, and the MCU and all this stuff. So it's like coming at all sides, and it's like we're ingesting all of it. So I just feel fucking hammered on content all weekend long. I was just like, between that and being a human being and a parent and everything else, I'm just toasted. So, and I'm sure you are too, man.
I am too, bud.
But next week we get back to kind of standard fare. We're gonna jump back into the horror corridor, the end of the horror corridor.
The end.
I'm trying to think if there's some. Is there? Well, what's coming up after that? Because we're gonna talk about The Monkey next week, because we're very much looking forward to that movie. But I can't think of another horror thing soon thereafter.
The only thing I could think of, because I saw the trailer for it, was Final Destination, Bloodlines.
Okay. Oh. And every time it says Bloodlines, just ask what, Pet Sematary or whatever these other ones that have been trash. No, thank you.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be bad. But yeah, it might just be I think Megan is a summer movie.
It's a July movie, or June. I think it's June.
Yeah, so that might be, that's kind of it, especially for like big notable releases. There's always kind of like stuff scattered throughout the year. But so this is the end of this current iteration of the Horror Corridor, and then we'll talk Reacher premiere. And we might have some other streaming stuff coming through, but I know that we're going to be, the following weekend is going to be dormant because whenever it's the Oscars, they never put a prominent movie. So we'll be kind of dipping into that, maybe some more TV or whatever. And we got a lot of stuff to cover. And I know you caught The Gorge. We're going to punt that to next week. So if you saw that and you're waiting to hear our views on that, come back next week, like we always suggest. Also, follow us at Recent Act Pod. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And we'd love to hear from you guys. And we'll see you next week for more Recent Activity.